Good evening and welcome to our program. I'm your host, Nicole Hales. This evening we'll be discussing battleground seats for both the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party, who are targeting them come September 3 in the upcoming general election. Joining me this evening in the discussion is political analyst and acting director of institutional research at Northern Caribbean University, Paul Bourne. Good evening, Paul, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, and blessing to your listeners.
63 candidates from each political party, the JLP and the PNP, have been duly nominated, having their supporters turned out in record numbers. It begs the question, therefore, based on the crowd we witnessed yesterday, is that testament of what's to come election day in terms of people coming out to vote? Paul?
Well, historically, we have not been using turnout at these events to determine that outcome. However, it seems as though the PNP base has been energized, and this could be a warning for the Jamaica Labour Party.
The two candidates seeking the battleground seat of Eastern St. Andrew yesterday stated their case for the constituents' vote in the pending general election. The People's National Party's Venetia Phillips, after completing her nomination exercise, identified safety, security, unemployment, and infrastructural development among the priority areas for the constituency.
September 3rd, we will be changing the guard over to the People's National Party. And so if you're asking me about numbers, the fact is that the people will be holding me to the same yardstick as they would have the person who is on her way out. And so, no, I'm not banking on those numbers. I'm banking on the frustration of the people of Eastern St. Andrew with low performance, no support whatsoever from who we have elected, and no investment in the infrastructure, social, economic, or even the average development of our people. And so that is the basis on which the people are coming out to send a signal that we will not accept leadership, regardless of political party, that has not served us well. I'm no more concerned than when pundits and pollsters would have predicted on the elections in the United States, when they also predicted right here in Jamaica when Comrade Portia Simpson Miller was actually going up against Andrew Holness, and you know what the results were then. So I'm no more concerned. I trust the people of Jamaica. It is not true that we're not concerned about corruption. We will never accept the normalizing of corruption. That is something that will be driving the people to the polls. The brazenness, the arrogance, all of that. Polls are a snapshot in time. And so we don't disregard them. We use them as a basis to redouble our efforts to ensure that the citizens understand that we're moving forward, we've heard them, and we are going to ensure that we serve them based on their expectation levels.
Also, after being nominated at the Mona High School for the September 3 polls, incumbent Member of Parliament Favour Williams for the Jamaica Labour Party expressed confidence in a victory based on her track record as MP over the last 4.5 years.
As you're well aware, over the last 4.5 years, there were a number of projects in which I engaged. Many of them need to be continued. One, taking down zinc fence in St. Andrew Eastern. I don't think in 2020 we should walk into any community and see unsightly zinc fence. Continuing the education programs that I have, continuing to upgrade community centers and make sure they are equipped with computers, and also the programs that will engage the young people to better themselves, to have the kind of skills that we need them to have as we move forward. There are significant other projects to look at in terms of when you go into communities, how they're laid out, the infrastructure, the utilities that they have. There's a lot of work still ahead for me.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
How confident are you that the JLP will take the September 3 general election?
I'm very confident. And again, just look at our track record of the work that we've been able to do in the country. And this confidence is not just coming from us, it is coming from Jamaicans who tell us that they have never seen a government done as much as we have been able to do over the last 4.5 years.
In speaking with our news team after being nominated, candidate running for St. Catherine North Central People's National Party, Natalie Nita, said she's very confident as she has done the work of the people and her track record can speak for itself.
So we're in a contest, and I think each person who enters a contest believe that they will always have the opportunity to win. I'm very confident today that I have done the work of the people. I have stayed close to them. I have been true to them, and my work will speak for me. And I believe the people will come out to continue to give this MP another term to continue to give great service. I think that the lack of proper governance, as we're seeing today with a government that has remained corrupt and lacking in management structures, the people were ready. A government that I think has not recognized that they have mishandled the COVID process, that we are now in a spike, and that this pandemic really could have been handled differently. A government who I believe at this time really and truly has not done sufficient to go back to the polls to ask for the people. They have broken their promises. They have gone with the 5 in 4. They have promised to double minimum wage. They have promised to sleep with windows and doors open. And the people were ready. My electoral machine has always been ready. I've always told myself that I don't run a garrison. I've always prized myself on performance, and so I continue to stay close and to work hard for the people so that whenever you call it, I would have been ready.
Paul, let's assess what each candidate has said so far for their priority areas for the constituency if they are elected. Let's start with incumbent for Eastern St. Andrew, Favor Williams.
No, that is one of those seats that have continued to actually swing from JLP to PNP and PNP to JLP. And we have heard what both candidates have said. But it appears to me from actually doing my ground research that the PNP seem to, that they may take this seat because of the base that they are sort of activated. And a part of why Mrs. Williams will actually lose is because of not being totally intimate with a number of constituents inside that constituency, and that may be a downfall come September 3.
In terms of Natalie Nita, what's your assessment of her performance in her constituency?
Well, historically, if you look at what she has been doing over the past years, you'll realize that she has always come out to be the victor, and sometimes by some good numbers. And I do not see the JLP here contesting and be effectively able to overturn her majority and her base at this moment.
Meanwhile, Jamaica Labour Party's Natalie Campbell Rodriguez says the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party selected strong women to represent the party.
Good morning. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be duly elected as the MP candidate for the people of North Central St. Catherine on the ticket of the Jamaica Labour Party. It's been a wonderful morning. As you can see, we have a lot of support. You're interviewing me now in an area that's not our stronghold at all, and you see the support is still here for us. So the real Natalie will be taking it. You know, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. And if you look at the Jamaica Labour Party and the candidates, the female candidates, we have tough seats because we are strong candidates. And we fear nothing or no one or any seat. So that is why the party leader had confidence that he could put us women in these very strong seats, because as individuals, we're all professionals and we're all strong women on our own. So the proof of the pudding will be in the eating. And I was elected before as a councillor in the Westchester division in Portmore in 2003. So I ran once and won in a tough division. So the journey has been one where I left for a while to raise my children, and I am back doing what I love. Yes, I served as advisor to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, and that was an awesome experience because that is one strong, determined, talented woman. So I did learn a lot there, and I'm well prepared to take on the seat and to represent the people in a professional manner, something like you have never seen.
Paul, the slate of female candidates for the 2020 general elections, it's prominent. Your thoughts on the number of women that are running in this election?
I am totally pleased with the number of women, and not only the number of women but their width their education, their foresight, their enthusiasm, and I've never seen this in politics before. And this is a good time in Jamaica's history for us to do some writing on this as we move forward. But great days are ahead, and I would like to see some of the winners hereafter.
In speaking with our news team, candidate running for St. Catherine East Central for the Jamaica Labour Party, Orlando Terrelong, said after working in the constituency for over 4.5 years, several developments have been made.
Now I've been here working for 4.5 years as the Member of Parliament. We have brought development to the constituency that is completely unprecedented. I mean, we have pulled down zinc fences in Gregor Park, and we have built walls in communities that never had walls before. We have paved road patches, and we've literally paved roadways paths that were just like footpaths rather, and we've put in roads in those places. We've been building recreational parks for children. Our educational program, every year at least 4,000 children are assisted in our education program. We assist the elderly, the disabled, I mean the young people in terms of jobs training and jobs placement and skills training. So it's really been 5 years of growth, development and prosperity. The main roads going back to Christian Penn, the main roads going back across to Independence City, the Nagahead Newlands main road, those are roads we have developed right here in East Central St. Catherine. You talk about communities like Cedar Grove and Watson Grove that had terrible roads before. We have started to build the roads in these communities. We've been here working the ground, developing. You know what, I like to say we're more than a community, we're a family here in East Central.
On the other hand, People's National Party candidate Raymond Price, during a recent interview with our news team, outlined some of his plans for the constituency if he should become the next Member of Parliament.
Nowhere in this constituency is a modern, well-equipped public health clinic. And the first 24 months of me being Member of Parliament, just as I did in Santa Cruz with the upgrade of the Santa Cruz Clinic to the Santa Cruz Center of Excellence, we will build and establish a Center of Excellence for public health at the primary level for this constituency. Several members of the family are born into dwellings on land that none of the family members have a title for. So tenure and land ownership is an important issue. And then there are many persons who are paying mortgages for their homes and who have lost income or had their incomes reduced because of COVID-19. So it's about those who don't yet own their land or their homes to have a quick route to home ownership, and those who have to be able to retain it. Because of the relationships going through the communities and getting the feedback of residents, even though things like roads and water and light and security and safety are still important, it has caused me to state that within the first week, having been sworn in to Gordon House as a Member of Parliament for East Central St. Catherine, I will table a motion for the National Housing Trust to do a 1-year mortgage shelter for all of its clients, including those who will pay their contribution but have not accessed a benefit.
Paul, your assessment of Terrelong and Price for the East Central St. Catherine seat?
Well, I've listened to both gentlemen, and I'm pleased with young, vibrant gentlemen in politics. But I think I'm going to give this one to Terrelong within the context that although we are looking at desire and vision and projection, I think what Terrelong has done is a mark in itself for him to remain, one, and two, on the ground. I'm also getting the impression that persons would like him to stay in that seat.
Your assessment of all the candidates that we've presented so far for the battleground seats, Paul?
There are a number of them I have given one way or another. There are some that seem so close, I'm skeptical to say A or nay. Now, I'm not sure what is really happening, but it appears as though there is some move or groundswell which is actually happening at the moment for the People's National Party. And this election could be closer than a number of pundits have actually projected. And the likely winner may be 2 or 3 seats. above the loser. So many days and good days are ahead, and these seats are indicators of what are likely to happen come September 3, 2020.
Thank you very much, Paul. And with us this evening was political analyst Paul Bourne, who is also the acting director for institutional research at Northern Caribbean University. Thank you to all our viewers for staying tuned, and stay tuned to Mellow TV for your election coverage. I'm your host, Nicole Hales. Thanks for watching.